Hello. I think I have to keep my phone like that. All right. I have a new holder here that I'm not sure how to use, so hopefully you guys will see soon that I came in. Oh, this is not good. This new one doesn't stay what I need. Kind of a bad one. Oops. What is wrong here? Do I have to type? Oh, okay. Never mind. I have to type. Okay. That's better. How is the image there? Is that good, guys? Today I'm gonna start the face. Nope, that didn't work good. No, here. I used to put this before the class start, but okay, I don't like this new one. I like my old one better. This one doesn't stay what I need. Put on the table. It might be a little bit shaky. I'm gonna try to put on my table instead of what I was putting. So I put the name as Jasmine, as you guys saw, because Jasmine is this lady's name, and that's the real Jasmine here. She gave me permission to use her name and all this identification. And I'm gonna start today explaining you guys what this is going to be, because this is different from all the other ones that I've done here on Patreon. All right, that's not working. Let me just get my other device. It's a little bit different from all the other live stream that I did on Patreon, because this one is going to be part of a documentary. And I need to make some recording with a good camera. So let me show you guys here. I have a setup here. This is the camera for the documentary. This one. I'm not going to record all the time, but at some points I ask you guys to understand that I will need you guys to wait for me to set up the camera so I can record for a part of the process for the documentary. And yeah, you guys are gonna have to be a little bit patient. So let me just a second. It's gonna be dark now because I'm putting my cell phone here. This one doesn't really stay on the table. So it's not gonna be all the time, but at some points I will do that. And the documentary is going to be ready. It needs to be ready on December 7th. This is the due date for the documentary to be ready. So I have to be with this doll ready for November 23. This is when we are going to record the documentary. And I mean, it's gonna be better if the doll is already ready to go, so we can show on the documentary. If it's not ready, they know that it might not happen, but I will try to do that. So I will come online live streaming pretty much all the time that I am in my studio. I can't have like from this hour to this hour, because I really need to rush this doll. So that's gonna be good, because you guys will see, because that's actually usually the time it takes me to make a doll. It's about 2 weeks, 15 days. And then you guys are gonna see the real thing, the real rush, the real time. And if you can't make to the classes, it's okay, because it's gonna be there recorded and you guys can always watch after. I would really appreciate if you guys could stay as much as you can with me here, so I have your feedback and you guys can interact with me and let me know if everything is doing all right, if the classes are like you can understand everything. So it's always better to have at least one person with me here. So Jasmine is, okay, it's a little bit hard to keep this here because I have a cell phone, I have a camera, and a light to watch out. I have to keep the cell phone here, otherwise it's going to be in front of the camera there. And myself. So this is also good for you guys to see that I'm a one person that do all at once. So I'm sure most of you saw the picture of the project. And I already posted a video of her story and why I planned that doll coming out of another doll that is like just ashes, and then the beautiful and renewed doll coming along from inside of her. So it's a little bit shaky because the cell phone is, everything is on my table. So if I move my arms, you guys are gonna see the cell phone shaking a little bit. I hope that doesn't bother you too much. So I have 3 people here. How is it doing, guys? How is the image good? For me, it looks pretty good here, but I don't know if it's good for you as well. So let me know if it's freezing, if it's good. Just let me know and I can try to figure out something. So I'm gonna start by choosing her eye color. I mean, I do have her pictures here, but it's kind of small. So I'm gonna open in my computer the big one so I can try to go a little bit deeper on the picture to see the color. I do have darker eyes, but honestly, I don't like to do, if it's like black eyes, I always like to go a little bit lighter, just because if it's too black, you can't really see details on the eyes. You can't really see the iris, and I like to do it bigger. Hold on. So yeah, it's kind of a dark brown eye. Yeah, it's not black. It's dark brown. There's not a perfect lighting in there. So I'm gonna use one of these. These are actually eyes that I made myself. Let me try to show colors here. It's not focusing. It's tiny. So these ones are not from the store. This one I made myself. And I like it a little bit better than the store ones because the iris is a bit smaller. Let me show you. This is the store one. So I like the smaller iris. I think this one is for this size of eyes. Now I don't even remember. Yeah, it is. So I could use this one too, this color for her eyes. But because the iris is bigger, I'm gonna use one of these. So you can always make your own eyes instead of getting, I have some other ones here. I am about to make new eyes. I'm running out of eyes. And I want to make some rounded ones. So I might come live streaming to show you guys how I make the eyes again. This color is beautiful too. I don't know if I have 2 of them. I like that one. It's kind of a black, but there's that kind of like a gray one. Hers is more like reddish, so I'm gonna use this one. See if I have 2 of these. I don't even have 2 of those, so I'll just get one of these. So I'm gonna get the darkest ones, and I think, so I always look like, I kind of pair them when I make them, but I always make sure that I am choosing nice pair of eyes. So I like these 2, instead of using the pair, I like these 2, see. They are more, the camera doesn't really get it. But anyway, I'm gonna get these 2. I'm gonna start with those. So can you guys talk? Are you guys able to talk on the chat? Because I'm not really seeing you guys saying anything. Let me press this, see if live chat. Is it like that? Yeah, okay. So I think if you guys talk to me, I will see from YouTube. You can't talk to me through Patreon. You have to come talk to me straight from YouTube. So this is the eyes, and I'm going to start doing just the face. So I'm going to remove the head out of here, and I will put something else to help me to hold. Let's see what I can put in here. Just put a tool or something. This tool here. So just to have something to hold. And let me get my favorite tools close by. There we go. And to start to place the eyes, I am going to use my gel. So I use the PV gel because I think they're stronger. I like it better. I'm gonna get a little bit of clay and I'm gonna make it softer so I can place the eyes and move them around easier. There. You guys feel free to chat. I'm not seeing anyone saying anything. So I'm just gonna make a little bit of a much softer clay here with the gel. There we go. I think that's soft enough. Doesn't need to be all sticky, it's just soft. And I'm gonna put some clay. Right now I don't even need this to hold, just that when later on, if I need. So if I start squeezing the head and deforming what I already made, then I will use this. Just press a little bit in to get it stuck in there. And the amount of clay, the eye doesn't need to be fully inside the orbit. It can be a little bit out. The right way to do is the right depth is if you put the tool like this, the right depth, the eye touches the line that goes in here to here. But we are not all perfectly correct, right? So this is an average proportion. So when you're making someone, you just follow through the person's eyes. So we are making her, so we're gonna, I don't have a perfect profile picture. It wasn't me taking those pictures, so can't fully see the depth of the eye, so we'll try our best. But I do have contact with Jasmine, and I can request for more pictures if I think I need to make her better. Okay, get closer with this. Is that better? What's better? So just give me 1 second because I'm gonna turn the other camera because I always like to record me placing the eyes. I always think this is a cool image, cool footage to have available. So 1 second, just enough for me to turn it on, place it. Oh, I have to get the camera a little bit more here. Okay, it's not connected. The camera and the cell phone are not in the same direction. So let me move the cell phone a bit so you guys can always see what I'm doing at the same time as I'm recording with the camera. It's just hard because it doesn't really stay what I want. I have to put something to hold. Put some tape. As I see, the cell phone goes away. Let me try it. No, it has to stay more here. There. I'm in a new studio and I'm not all set like I was in the other one with everything placed in the right spot and could stay. This one is new and I still am getting some things ready. Okay, I think I got it. I might have to stop and go get tape, but let me just record this first. I'm gonna need more tape here. Oh boy. We buy those devices and it looks so good on the internet and the merchandise, and then you put it on your house and it's not. Okay, this is not gonna work here. I'm gonna have to put on the table. Just a second again. I'm gonna get you guys dark. All right, I think this is gonna work now. Seriously, I just dropped my eye. Okay. So again, this is not like the other classes. This is all you guys watching me in my studio really working. Okay, I'm not really teaching. Well, I am, but it's kind of like not anything is prepared. So you guys see the mistakes, see the real timing, see the real everything. Okay, so now let me record here. And I apologize for the, I have to do this while I'm online, but okay. I'm a one person doing everything at once, so okay, there you go. So I'm recording with the cell phone now, I mean with the other camera, and I'm showing you guys. So now I'm gonna place the eyes. I have to do it again. I don't know why the camera stopped recording. I'll just do one. Oh, it stopped again. Why? Okay, I got now. That's good enough footage. And now is the part that is more complicated, that is to get these eyes look into the same direction. So you kind of have to spend some time doing this, because it's better spend time right now putting these eyes in the right position than make a mistake and have to fix when the face is already all there. And it's so much harder to fix when the face is ready. So I'm going to press a little bit more inside. It's a little coming a little bit out of the bone here. And she doesn't have the eyes popping out, so I will put it deeper. And if it's too tight to go in, just remove a little bit of the clay that you added and press it again. So I think I put too much clay here. There we go. There. I'm looking at the depth first. I always go for depth first. And after I got kind of the depth, I do the direction of the eyes. So I want her looking kind of like this, to this, not to the side, more up, because she's gonna be looking up. So I'll do this, kind of roll the eye up and press the top down, pull underneath here. These eyes are a little bit are made out of clay, so they're a little bit more fragile than the store ones. The store ones are made out of resin, so I have to be more careful with those eyes. I think they can be a little bit more inside. Sometimes, because those are handmade, sometimes I make this one too. This eye is too long here, so I have to cut while I'm placing. That can happen. And to be sure that I am not putting the eyes too much, too far apart or too close together, I'm going to measure. Where is the... Just to have an idea, okay? I'm not fully measuring right now, just to have an idea so I don't put the eyes completely off. Kind of, they stay. So see, it's not too far apart, because this is the center of the eye would be around here. So they're not too far apart. Let me just do this. See, they're not too far apart. And then I'm gonna do the end of it. So just to confirm that is not. Trying to figure out a way to show you guys here. So it's good. It's kind of in the center. It's all right, unless I want to make her looking sideways. That's good enough here. And something else that I like to do to be sure that the eye is not going to be too high or too low is to kind of measure the distance between eye and mouth of her. This is when I'm making likeness. Just measure here. That's enough, yeah. And I just want to be sure that the eyes are there, but I want her to be looking up. So if I put it in here, she's not going to really be looking up. She's going to be looking straight. So I have to put it a little bit higher. And then sometimes when you have to put higher, you end up having to put out of the bone a little bit more. And that's okay. You just put more forehead after. Just fill up with clay. It's not like we are using her skeleton, the real one that we're supposed to. Because every person has a different skeleton. So we have to adapt ours to every face. And we do that by adding more clay and making sure that you get the right volume for all parts of her face. I think this one has less clay here, so I'm just gonna press some clay underneath here. It's a very delicate work, and you really have to spend some time figuring that out. And place. I want this eye to look a little bit more to that direction to match this one, because I think this one is looking here and this one is looking straight. So I can press this one inside here. That look better. It looks a bit better. Some people, even myself, sometimes I just put the eyes at the end, because it's easier to make the eyes look to the right position when you already have a face. So you can still keep on moving these eyes while you sculpt. It's a little bit harder to move, but it's easier to get it right. So don't worry if you're making a sculpture and the eyes is not like you can't do it on a skull. Don't worry, because you can always keep on fixing it. It's always good to look like this too, because you can see if it's in the same depth. See, always the angles are very important to make sure it's right. I think this one can be a little bit more inside. It's everything very, very, just a little tiny bit you have to move, and it makes a big giant difference. It's very delicate, small work. Okay, so now I'm gonna get clay. I think it's good enough right now. If I need to move these eyes, I'll move later. And I already need this clay quite a bit. I mean, not quite a bit. I'm lying if I say quite a bit. A little bit. I'm kind of lazy to do that, and sometimes I get moonies because of it. I'm gonna put it in my machine here. I'm a little bit far off the phone. I hope you guys can still hear me. Just to get a thin layer sheet of clay. And I hope I don't get moonies. I did get some. You can even see it in here already because I didn't need the clay enough. But anyway, I think that's good enough. I'm gonna put makeup on her and hopefully I don't get a lot of moonies. What you can do too, it's kind of like press with your eyes to release, to remove the air inside. PV clay give a lot of moonies. It's a strong clay, but it is harder to work at the beginning, very hard to knead the dough. And it gives me, I have more moonies problems than I do get with other clays. But I still prefer to have a strong sculpture if I need to ship it somewhere. Less risk to get it all broken. So this is kind of when you press your fingers like that, you release the air that's inside. Okay, so I want it thin, as thinner as I can, because I don't want to lose the shape of the skull. I still want to be able to see the eyes and everything in there. Okay. This might get on my way. I will leave it right now because it gets stronger if you leave this. If her jaw is showing this, then I'll remove after. I'll leave it right now. And I am going to put this on top of her face. Oh, I need to record this part on camera here. Okay. There. So I put it on and I start pressing slowly to make sure the air is not going to be stuck between. And you can still see the skull shape. We're still going to add a lot of clay here and move this a lot, but it's just to give us an idea. There we go. And I'm going to leave some clay here, not all of that because I still need clay to shape it, but some clay for me to hold. Or I can just put this out. I didn't need a lot. I didn't need a lot of clay to be able to leave that much. So I'm going to put this tool. And we have our little Voldemort right there. Beautiful Voldemort. Okay, now I'm going to record again because I always record doing the eyes and stuff. At the beginning I record more than during the body. So we will notice that. So I'm going to cut the eyes. Like this. I'm going to go back in that measurement just to be sure that I'm putting the eyes in the right spot. Could be a little bit higher. So when I open the eyes, I'm going to open higher because when I put it in here, the mouth, I can't do the mouth lower. So I'll open the eyes higher, and if I need to move the iris inside, I will. So just a cut. She's not with the mouth open, so we don't need to open too much. And just do this. Okay, then we know where everything is. I'm gonna press 2 dimples here. I didn't even measure, sorry guys. I already go with my eyes, but these dimples are usually in the center of the eyes here. It's a straight line, it goes down. So you kind of go like this and do those. This is kind of the end of the mouth and roll down. I'm still gonna put a lot of clay here, so this is just to start the shape of it. And here in the nose, it's always good to make sure to bring this in, because you don't want air coming in there. So that's just to make sure that you won't have air inside. I'm gonna add some clay here to cover that. All right, so this is what we have. And now I'm gonna put some clay for the nose. Okay, I'm gonna have to stop recording because my card is full and I lost the other card, so I'll just keep on going and I'll redo that for just the camera. And now I'm going to put the nose. I don't need a lot of clay for the nose. I'm gonna put less clay here. Kind of like measure a little bit. You don't need to really. Just make it bigger and then cut it off. But if you want to, you can measure where her nose finishes here. Just have to be very careful with the angle that you put the nose. A lot of people make the angle too high. So kind of follow through hers. Here I still didn't even do the transparency. I'll do the transparency later on. I work a lot with my eyes already because I got so used to work with the transparency that your eyes kind of get trained to know the space and put in the right spot just by looking. I wasn't like that when I first started making. And just start spreading around. Always press here because that's the center of the nose. It's with the center of the eyes, and I'm gonna higher up a little bit. My God. I got scared myself phone pop out of my table. This table is too thick. It's too thick for the thing that holds. That's why I'm having a hard time. I used to have another table back in Calgary. I'll try to put it in here, see how it goes, because I'm not recording anymore, so it can stay in front of the just a second, guys. You guys are gonna see all messed up right now, and then I'm gonna go. Oh, there we go. That worked good. Okay, it's back. Okay. Yeah, now I know that I can't really use the table because it pops out. All right. So I just start pulling the nose out, and that's not a really, you don't have to do it in this order, and I don't really follow always the same order. So it's just, as long as you start having a face and you're doing the right anatomy for a human, you're okay. Well, it's not gonna look like a human right now. So just start bringing out around the eyes like this, making the nose a little bit thinner. Bring it down. I'm not even looking to her nose yet. I'm just making it human. There we go. I'm just gonna go back for that measurement now. Mouth, eyes. That's very important on beginning to make a person that is likeness. Is to leave the right measurement between mouth and eye. So keep on measuring so you don't make it wrong. See, my eyes are lower. So either I put the mouth lower, which is not good, or the eyes higher. So bring the eyes higher. You can always use your measurement, your caliper, to make a mark in there. So that helps you. Helps you to do the same both sides too. Just make a little mark in there. And then you know that this tip is where the eyes, the center of the eyes, tip of the caliper here. So yeah, my eyes are completely in the wrong spot. I'm gonna have to move them a lot. This one is not really. Have to put much higher the eyes, see? Otherwise it's gonna be looking down, actually. So this is why a lot of people put the eyes after. We can do that, really. Let's do this then. That's how I work. If I'm having a hard time doing something, I do differently. I don't get stuck with the technique, you know, following step by step. I'll just remove the eye, make a mark kind of where it goes, and then I'll put it again when I already have more of the face. And that is just because maybe I printed this face bigger than the skull, and it can give me a little bit of trouble, but everything is manageable. So this is the center of her eye, and this is what I want my eye to be. So I'm following her measurements, her proportions. And now I'm gonna measure the distance between the center of the eye and the end of the nose. Here. It's correct. So that's good. That is where the nose ends. So before I place the eyes back in here, I want to have a little bit of more her face so I don't lose the position. Because if I just get the eyeball and stuck in here, I'm gonna change the position, and I don't have a lot of things to help me out. So what can help me out is start shaping the eyebrow, for example. This is something that would help me out. So I look to the shape of the end of the nose, how it finishes here and how it meets the eyebrow, and I kind of follow it. So usually like press it down because it's deeper in here. And if you mark the eyebrow, it's easier to don't mess up the eye place where it is. Kind of like this. So this is gonna help me to don't put the eyes too low again. And also helps to put the eye look into the right direction and all of that, because you kind of have more information on her face. Like this. So it's always a little bit. I'm not concerned to get all right now. And I'm gonna get the shape of her nose. So the second thing that I look for the shape of her nose is her nostrils here, where it goes, the wings of her nose. according to the tip of it. So I make like a ball here and a ball here. So sometimes this is higher than the tip, sometimes it's lower than the tip, sometimes kind of in the same direction. Hers is pretty much in the same direction. So what I'm gonna do here is just bring this out like this and like this without trying to pull it up or down, just opening really. And I'm also not concerned to open the nostril exactly how it is, because I just want to have a rough shape of a nose to start with. There you go. And her nose is not so, there's not a tip here, so I'm with my finger gently smooth to make it rounded. It's always easy to do that with my finger. I think it's easier to do it with my finger than with the tool. And now I'm gonna kind of mark the wings. Not a lot. I do everything slowly, slowly start seeing her face. Something like that. For her lips, she has a very strong mark here, and I'm going to do it. And then I'll start shaping the mouth just a bit. I'm just making the nose a little bit skinnier. It's too thick. Bring it down. You can scratch at the beginning, like just scratch the clay out of the way. You don't need to worry about letting everything nice and smooth. This, something that a lot of people make a mistake is making this part lower than this. This is always higher. There's always more volume on the top than on the end. So once you know that, kind of start making sense a lot of things on the face. So just bring it down. There was too much clay in here. So you see, we have a human. Start having a human. I'm not super concerned about shapes and any of that. I'm gonna press a little bit here for the bottom lip. And here I don't press it down, I just bring it out like this. And there we go, we're getting there. Something also always good to measure is the thickness of her nose. So not the, I'm gonna measure the thickness of the tip of her nose, so I know her wings, where it goes, kind of here. So I don't make a too large nose. Kind of follow the right. Oh, see, it's it's much larger than it should. So what I do here is just I squeeze down. And then I have the right one. So I didn't need to open the nose, actually. I needed to make the center of the nose, the bridge of the nose, skinnier. So I just remark the wings where I squeezed. I'm just bringing the human shape. So for example, this is too rounded here, so I'm kind of like giving a little curve here, scratching the clay to be a curve like this, not like this. And now we can always measure the tip of the nose, not without the wings, just that part here, so we know. This picture is not the best. There's a shade here that I can't really see, but I think it's here. No. There. That's what it looks like. Can kind of make a mark there so you know. And from here to here, you kind of dig. So you have the right shape there. Not the right shape, but I mean the right size right now. And then slowly shape into her nose. And also something else you can do is measure in here, so you know even better. My printer was also with it's making those stripes on the printing. It's not perfectly great. But I'm in a rush. I need to finish this doll, so I can't be too picky. I can work with whatever I have. Okay. So that helps me to keep the right thickness of the nose, all these measurements and stuff. All right, so something else that I know that is wrong is here. The eye is too out. I have to bring this in a little bit more. So I just take a little bit of clay of here and a little bit of clay of here. And that's not Jasmine, that's a human. Too much clay in here make the eye weird. There we go. I hope you guys can see that it's becoming more and more human. Very skinny human, but human. With no facial expression, no anything yet. Pretty much just following Jasmine proportion human. And also always look like that, see how is symmetry going. Looks like this one is higher than that, so I'm gonna bring this a little bit down. All right. So now we have a better idea of her face. I don't want to keep on giving details here before I place the eyes, because when you place the eyes, you really messes up whatever is in here, because you have to stuck two eyeballs in there. So also what we can do, there was one of them that was kind of big, I remember. I think it was this one. Let's see, yeah, this one is kind of like big in one side. So you could even flip, but then no, it's bigger. So it's still bigger even if I flip. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm going to remove a little bit, because this one is handmade, right? Again, so it's made out of clay and it's easy to remove a little bit and make it smaller so you can fit closer. And also make the other side of the other one. Feels like it's a little bit bigger. There you go. And now, slowly, gently, I'm gonna try to place this eye in there. Hopefully it's not going to have a bone on my way, because it also can happen. Sometimes the person have the eye much higher than the skull that I have. So I'm gonna slowly put inside and up. It's kind of hard because this is the clay eye and it breaks very easy. So you see how it's easier. You can see that it's easier to make her looking in the right direction because you kind of already have an eye there. But it's a bit hard to place it. There you go. This is gonna make her look up. And I also want her to look in that direction a little bit. So if I figure it's my eyes are breaking, then I'll stop changing too much. Stop being so picky. Because it doesn't really matter if she's looking to one direction or the other right now. I mean, for this sculpture. I just want to make sure that she's looking up because she is changing. She is reborning, so she needs to look up, not to the past, not down. She needs to be proud, so looking up give me that feeling of all of that I just mentioned. Okay, and now the other one. Same thing. I'm always going to make sure that I'm getting the right. Those ones are pretty much the same, both sides pretty centered, because this is handmade, so sometimes the iris get a little bit more one side than the other. So inside here and down. I'll see, that's much easier to see if it's looking in the position you want or not, because you kind of already have a face. So it can be very helpful. Just really, really make sure that is in the same depth. So it looks like this one needs to be a little more. It could be, this can be tricky. When you look like this, it looks like there's more eye showing here. So it looks like this one is popping out. But it could also be because there's less clay here than here. So it's tricky. So it's always good to always do this. But yeah, now here you can see it's out. You have to place this one more inside. So a bit more in. You can either go with your finger. This is very, I don't like to go with the metal to bring it in because it can really damage my white clay. Especially white is always weaker. So go with a rubber brush or something that you can reach and press. This one is very soft. And then go and look again, see if it's more. It's a bit more. It's getting there. But now it's not looking straight. Because when you press down, you always change the direction as well. So you have to fix it. This one looks like it's more. Okay, let me get the distance of the eyes first so I know where the eye is looking better. Because sometimes missing skin also can cause a wrong impression. So if you know where the eyes finish, you will know where she's actually looking. So always in the center. So see how that it kind of helped me. I don't know if it's gonna help you guys, but it does help me. It looks like this one is looking more in this direction than this one. So it's either I bring this one more looking there or this one more looking here and make her looking more straight. So I think I will put this one up. I don't know if they're both looking as up as high as I want to. I think this one is not as high. Just put more. Yeah, I like now. See? Give her. I like it. Oh, I really like it. All right. So now I will start bringing clay down. I don't have, I still didn't make the eyelid or any of that, but I'm just gonna bring it down to kind of keep this eye without space between the eye and the clay, because then it moves very easy. There we go. Okay, I like it already. Okay, now that we have this, we can start adding more details to the face or more looking for more resemblance to her. I kind of do at the same time. Once you give the right proportion and sizes, measurements, you, because this is very important for likeness, and you can kind of like already start seeing a lot of the person on it. So here I'm just kind of like bringing more to the right direction and getting better volumes and smoothing out at the same time. I'm figuring this is too high here, so I'm bringing it down a bit. This side. Because eyes also are deeper here than here. There we go. All right, now I think what is giving more differences between Jasmine and her, it's obviously the cheekbones and the cheeks. Cheeks. I don't want to say a young chicken. I want to say that. And I always say wrong. My daughters, when they watch my videos, they laugh. Okay, so I always put a little bit of a tip in here because kind of helps with the eye shape there, and then bring it up here and cover this big hole. She does have nice cheeks here. She doesn't have like a skinny face. So bring this here and gently up. You can go slower. You don't need to add all this clay if you don't feel comfortable when you're making yours. You can go slower and add slowly. I always like to add more and then spread around and shape it, but it really depends on how you like to work. And she's gonna be slightly smiling like here. She's kind of slightly smiling in all the pictures, so I'm gonna follow that. I like it. It's kind of mysterious, and it's not like she is fully smiling when she's reborning, because obviously it's not easy to reborn. But it's good. So I like this slight smile for her. Everybody's so quiet. I'm not sure if it's my chat that is not working, or if you guys are not saying anything. Usually you guys talk a little bit. Kind of the slight smile in there. And I can do the other side, or I could put the eyelid. Eyes also help to give the person the same assemblancy. So I could do either one. There you go. Just repeating what I did on the other side and trying to keep symmetry. She has her chin is very triangular here, so I'm just pulling this to get it more triangular. And here is not so, her face is not so large here, so there's not that much cheek here. So I'll just bring it to the back like this. Just to give a little bit of the shape of her face. I'm not gonna give perfectly because I'm still holding here. And I don't know if you guys remember, but I tend to always hold and put my finger in this jaw, this side of the jaw, and I have to do this last because I always mess up while I'm holding. Even when I put this to hold, I can never do this. I always go this way and always mess it up. So now I'm gonna put some eyelid just so she has a look. So I'll put the bottom one first. I always like putting the bottom one first. One of the things that the eyelid, a lot of people make a big mistake is leaving a space between the eye and the eyelid here. And then it looks like the eye is floating. This needs to be absolutely stuck on the eye. You can't leave a space here. And you also cannot dig. When you dig, like some people dig to get the eye shape and start digging like this, and then gets deeper in between, and it's not, you can't. It needs to be right there. Right there, stuck. And when you give the shape, you slowly do it so you don't dig. Okay? So another thing that about eyes is once you reach the center here, it always must go down here. Always must go down, because this is where the tears go. So there's a tear drop here, otherwise the tear was going to spread around the eye. So it goes down, and then you remove clay until you get the shape of her eye correct. I'm not really so concerned about the shape of her eye right now. I'm just pretty much putting an eyelid. Yeah, she doesn't really touch the iris. Her eyelid here, when she looks up straight, it doesn't touch. So if she's looking up, it will touch even less. So the iris is not touching the eyelid, so I'm bringing it down here a bit more. And kind of something like that. I'm still gonna work on details, but something like that is okay. I'm gonna put the other one. Oh, then you can either put the other one, or you can just work on the top of this one and get the eye shape right, and then you just copy the other one. It doesn't really matter, whatever works better for you. So it's really not a lot of clay here. And if you want to put eyelid like this and go straight to the eyebrow, you can, and then you just dig this line here, or you can put one and put the other one on top. It doesn't really matter. And myself, sometimes I do one way, sometimes I do the other. Is whatever I feel like doing for that specifically though. But see, this has this is what people tend to do, put a space in here. Like when you look like this, it's not a problem, but it's really, it doesn't look realistic. You really have to touch this to the eyeball. So bring it down till it touches, and then you shape it. Don't leave a space. So I like to do this, to go straight to the eyebrow. A lot of times I do this. Well, sometimes I don't. Doesn't really. When it's small, when it's that small, I figure it's easier to go straight and dig a line. When it's bigger, it's easier to go in two parts. So always something, a big mistake that people do when they do this part is making that part too high. So it gets a square thing. We have a curve, so this must to go down. So here, this cannot be that high. So you have to bring this down. It needs to lose volume once it goes to the outside like this. In the front, you don't notice any difference. See, it's the same, but when you do this, you do notice. And here is not touching, so I'm just making sure that everything is touching the eyeball, and then I will shape it. I'm gonna get this because now I'm looking to her picture and I'm seeing, can she kind of have this part dip? So I'm gonna start digging and last dig when once I reach the eyebrow there. And her eyebrow is not very separated from the eye. It's pretty close. And if she's looking up, I'm gonna have to make it up because I don't have a picture of her looking up. And it doesn't need to be exactly her because this is a representation of all the women that goes through domestic violence. So usually I don't do like a loyal portrait. It's a celebration of her. So not a celebration, I don't know this word in English, just to make her feel good about it. I don't know. But it doesn't need to be like a completely, absolutely amazing portrait of her. It's a sculpture of a woman that could be a lot of different women that suffer that and reborn from her own ashes. All right, I like it. Now I'm kind of gonna give the shape of her eyes because I didn't even start giving the shape of her eyes. And they are not so triangular, they're more flat here. So I'm gonna bring this down a bit. And this up. And now I'm gonna dig the line, and the line is what makes the difference. So hers is very close, and she's looking up, which is gonna be even more close. I can see a little bit of sadness on her eye. Okay, I like it. There's a, if you guys notice, you probably already did, there's a iris and a darker part in the eye here that I am going to fix when we paint the eye with varnish. This is because the resin from here spread it around a little bit here, and this is just clay without resin. But this is eyeball, and we're gonna paint as an eyeball. So it looks like it's a big pupil with some light eyes. It's not, okay? This is just a little bit of resin that's spread around, and it's gonna be all the same. Okay, now what I can see here is that when I look and I see like a big giant difference is that this line, it's too strong. So I'm going to gently smooth it out and Make the nose gentle, it comes down, not so suddenly, with forming this giant line. You can also do that with a brush if you prefer. That's better. Still not perfect, but better. I don't even have the same nose shape yet. I'm gonna work on that a little bit later. I'm just kind of like doing, making a basic shape of her face first, and then slowly adding more and more details. Okay, so I think we're gonna try to make this eye right now. So I have to fool the eyes, and then I can see better if it really looks like her eye or not. So same thing, just make sure that it will touch the whole eyeball and be absolutely surrounding the eyeball without a space or a hole. Don't dig between the clay and the eyeball. And I just keep on repeating those because those are mistakes that I've seen a lot with my students when they send the picture of the result. And then I'm gonna look for symmetry, and that's the hardest part. And takes a little bit of time to find it. Just bring it down because she's not, her iris wouldn't be touching the eye that much. Just getting more clay here for top iris, top eyelid. That's not enough clay. I'll do a little bit more so I can do straight to the eyebrow. So there you go. And remember to bring it down, get it stuck to the eye. No space between eyeball and eyelid. And then you see if you put the skin in the wrong place, look what happened. If I put this eyelid, marking this as the center of the eye, she's not gonna look to the direction that I want. So this can also mess up all the eye you made. So no, we can't do that. This is not in the center of the eye. So you have to bring this more here and this down. So she's gonna be looking to the right direction and the eye is gonna have the right shape. See the difference? It's a little tiny thing that changes a lot. So always remember when you're making someone look into the other direction that don't make, when you scope the eyelid, be careful to don't make it back into the center of the eye. Because we tend to put it's a tendency when you're sculpting, and you tend to try to put the eye around the eyelid, the iris, and keep the iris in the center. But when you're doing someone looking to the other direction, remember to don't do that. Maybe I could even come closer down here to leave this look more up. Let's see, let me do the same as this one, and then if I have to change, I'll change both at the same time. Just look to see if it's the same height here. Start trying to bring the symmetry. What do you want, Mel? Looks like it's a little bit higher, this one. I like it. I'm just gonna smooth out this union here where it gets. Now I'm gonna give the shape of her eye, and this is higher here. Also trying to make symmetric nose here and smoothing out this line a little bit, same as I did the other side. This nose is kind of not straight. Just trying to bring a little bit of more symmetry to the nose. It was kind of like going to this side. She doesn't have that so tight in here, you see. She doesn't have the bottom of her eyelid with a little bump or anything. It's pretty flat. So I'm gonna remove this a bit. I'm gonna have to put more clay here, or take a little bit of a little bit of clay out of here because it's not symmetric. You can see there's more clay this side than this. Look. So I have to figure out which one looks more like her, and then I'll copy. I think the one without looks more like her. I'm gonna make that line here just to have it. I don't think the eyes are symmetric still, but I'll make them symmetric slowly. And I'll make it, and then I see which one I like it better. I like this one better. So I might have to bring this eye a little bit more here to also make this one looking more that side. And bring this one down because she's looking up. Yeah, it's kind of that, something like that. I'll just change here a little bit. Maybe this one is too much. It looks like she's... No. When I look from here, it looks like she's drunk or something. If I look just this side. No, it doesn't. I'm gonna make this one a little bit smaller. So these are very... My dog is asking me to go out. Mel, get out of here. Go call daddy. Go call daddy. Mel, get out of here. Okay, 1 second. I need to open the door for my dog to go pee. Come on, go. Sorry, guys. I don't think my husband is home to open the door for her. So this is live, real life, how I do things every day. I'm not even recording with because my memory card is full. I'm gonna have to redo all of that in front of the camera. So I'll do that tonight when I find the other memory card. Yeah, that's better. So you see, slowly, I'm not concerned about details. I just kind of want to give her look, make her look to the right spot. I'm not even with my glasses yet to give details. Okay, I kind of like it. I'm gonna put this, the tip of her nose now because it's without a tip, you see? That's not how her nose is. Look. There's a tip here that is missing, and that makes her completely different. I'm gonna put a little bit of clay in there to try to make that. I don't know if you guys want to watch the full process with every day in this rush. It's gonna be a lot of videos, but if you don't, you can always watch later and kind of like skip the parts that you're not interested on. Oh, I think my husband is home. That's better already. Just have to work on the profile because her nose doesn't drop suddenly like that. But the front I like. think I made the nose too thin. I might have to put more clay here. I put Mel outside if you want to open the door for her. I'm gonna mark the chin here, because there's always two marks here. You mark the lips in the center here, and then it goes down, and then you mark the chin, and then it comes out again.
Is it okay to do laundry?
If you can wait, I'm gonna stop soon because I don't have a memory card, and I need to. I'm getting to a point where I don't want to have to redo the face, so I will stop soon to try to find my memory card. I got the wrong memory card. Oh, I like it already. I mean, there's a lot to do still, but I like it. The problem is the nose is not symmetric at all. I'm just trying to put more symmetry to the nose, just a little bit. Yeah. Oh, look at that. It's not bad. Not bad at all. Oh, I can see somebody talking here. What I'm gonna do is I will stop soon because, as I told my husband, I got the wrong memory card because I have two memory cards. They look exactly the same, but one is like a fast one and the other one is not a fast one. And for this camera, I need the fast one, and I put the other one, and I don't know where the other one is, so I have to stop, and because I'm not recording any of that, and it's a shame. I want to record. I will restart the beginning, which is I can just pretend that I am starting, like just for having footage for the documentary of the beginning. But I'm getting to a point where it's not that fast to redo it, so I will stop. And then I'll come back when I'm all set with the memory card. I'm also going to try to fix this cell phone stuff here because I thought my new one, because I bought a new one, this one is broken that I'm using right now. And what I'm talking about is about this thing here to put the phone. So I bought a new one and I thought the new one would work, but it's a pretty bad quality one and it didn't work at all. So I'm gonna figure that out, get everything working better here, and then I'll be back. I will probably have to be back today. What time is it? I have to pick up my kids at 4. It's 2. I'll try to come back today still, but again, as I said, I can't really tell you guys I will or I won't, because I want to, but I'm not sure if I will find my memory card, or if maybe it's better if I find my memory card, just record the beginning to have that footage or not. I will probably come back today, if not before picking up my kids, after picking them up. but I really need to finish this doll fast, so I'm gonna be here a lot. Okay? So I'm gonna stop here. I'm pretty happy with how that worked out. Of course, it's not her yet. There's a lot to change, but I kind of can see a little bit of her already, and that makes me happy. It was a fast process. Yeah, so I'll stop here, and as soon as I am ready to go live again and I am better, like we'll fix this light here, find my memory card and do all of that, then I'll be back. If you guys can't come, it's okay. The video will be there. Make sure to put the notifications on for Patreon, and then you will see that you get notified when I'm live streaming. Something else I can do is like half hour before I go, when I decide that I'm coming, I just come and make a post just saying I'll be here in half hour, so you guys can get prepared for that. But I really cannot set up a schedule for this sculpture like every day from this to this, because I will probably have to work overtime, maybe sometimes during the night, and who knows. I just really want to finish this sculpture for the 23. So it's a lot to do till then. And yeah, we have a lot of work to do. So it's going to be tough, and it's going to be a lot of hours and hours live streaming here for you guys. Okay? So see you guys soon, hopefully, probably. And if not, I also will post, make a post saying that is not going to be possible, but I'm really hoping that I will be able to come back today. Okay? So if you have anything to say, any suggestion or anything that you want to say, you can just make a post on Patreon, or you can just private message me or make a comment in any of the posts of this class, and I'll promise I will read, and I try to read them all. I don't get that much stuff going on my Patreon yet, so it's not hard for me to keep it up. And then I can reply and make sure to think about whatever you have to say and see if we can add to the sculpture. And I didn't get a lot of opinions on the what I plan for it on the project. I'd love to hear what you guys think about it, about her story and what I plan for her sculpture. I'd love to hear it, and I'd love if you have any different or new suggestion that I still didn't think of. Okay? All right. Bye bye. Bye bye, guys. See you soon.